Are you or your twin flame married and wondering how to handle that situation? Hey everybody, I'm Dov.
I'm Nicole.
And we're Twin Flame Revolution. We're a twin flame couple who've been together for over a decade, and we're consciousness mentors, twin flame guides, mentors, healers, and motivational speakers. You guys have been asking us to talk about this complicated subject for a long time, and these are complicated subjects. We work intimately and privately with, and have worked with, thousands of twin flames dealing with these subjects. We have them in our community, we have them here with you guys on YouTube and privately, and we know that these subjects are very challenging and intimate. So as you listen to this and the other videos that come forward, I want you to give yourself a space of non-judgment and understand that they are very unique to you, and we're just here to bring you some information from our experience without having an opinion on these subjects. So having said that, first question is, how does this happen, right? And it can happen.
And it happens a lot.
Yes. Yeah, and people ask us, they say like, can this happen? Can it happen? You know, people ask if anything can happen in the twin flame connection. I have to say that it really all can happen, right? So first and foremost, why would it and how could it happen? So yes, it can happen, and it can happen because we have a lot to do with a lot of people on this planet. Right? We have a lot of soulmates. We have a lot of connections. And when I say soulmates, what my definer is, and I'm talking about souls that you have spent a long time with. You got a deep connection with, right? And I joke all the time, but in non-joke, right? For people that don't understand, I say it's, you know, it's kind of funny. But my mom, for instance, is a soulmate of mine. We've been together in many, many, many lifetimes in different relationships, father, son, daughter, mother, so on and so forth. And so the thing is that you have these strong, intimate connections with other people. And some of those are romantic connections. And so there are positive connectors to why you would marry, or your twin would marry, somebody that isn't a twin flame. And this kind of brings us to this very profound need to understand the twin flame connection at a really high degree to get you through the process. You know, Nicole and I have created all sorts of webinars, and we teach it in our products and in our one-on-one work in our community. Understanding the twin flame connection is vital for you. It is vital, because when you understand the connection on a deep level, what you are going to gain from that is that your connection is not just a romantic relationship. So when you understand that, it becomes inherently understandable why you or somebody else, right, or your twin might be married to somebody else. And then on the reverse side of that, there are some negative, right? There are some challenging or outdated reasons why your twin might be in that marriage, or you might be in that marriage, right? You may have outdated contracts or agreements, right? You may have energies that are pulling you together that needing to dissolve and release. And when you dissolve and release those karmic connections, or those soulmate connections, or those just energetic ties to that particular person, they can dissolve, release, and change.
Yeah, it's interesting too. So we incarnate, and we will start to, when we incarnate, we're going to start to attract our soul group and extended soul group energy frequency, right? Because we all are made up of love frequency, but let's say we talk about star seeds and you come from a specific star. You have a different frequency than somebody's going to come from a different one. And so you're attracting these other energies. And right before we get here, we're like mapping it out. We're like, yo, bro, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We get really excited too. And I'm sure it's overzealous because we're out of ego, right? And we're looking at it. We're like, that would be so cool if like you were married and we had to like refine things in that space. And wait, you know, the person I'm marrying is a karmic, and I have some karmic debt there. So we need to pay that off, and I'm going to pay that off. And then we're going to do this whole thing. It's going to be so cool. And then you get in the body and you forget. And you get in these situations, and your ego and your lower version of yourself, just the parts of self that don't remember,
how did I do this?
You know, how is this even happening? And we start to panic, and we start to get angry, and we start to judge God, and we start to judge the situation. In all of these situations, we can work through them. You know, Dov and I were just talking about the movie Twilight, right? Where she had, you know, Edward, beautiful vampire Edward, but then she had this other man, you know, her other soulmate. I forget what his name was, that beautiful wolf, right? And you see this dynamic of her needing to figure out what it is that she really wanted. You know, figure out who she is. Figure out what was real. Figure out what other relationships. Sometimes we have these soul connections with people, and as soon as we feel that remembrance, we're like, that's my lover. That's my lover. Like, I need to go there. And we don't think that maybe we just have a deep soul connection with this person and we're meant to be friends with them. But we're learning, right? So we'll jump into relationships and we'll get into them. And after a couple months, we're like, well, that feels like brother, sister. That's not correct. Or, we'll stay even longer than a couple months. We'll stay in relationships that don't really fulfill that part of us. And so understanding that there's so many different components that can be pulling the situation. And for the most part, all parties involved knew at high level what this was meant for, right? There are mission and purpose in everything. We are so big and creative and beautiful that we come up with the most magical, majestic ways to create evolving and creating ways to remember who we really are. Remembering, activating, working through really tough situations and matters of the heart, relationships, these entanglements, they're the hardest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so Nicole said something so profound and important, right? When you think that all parties involved had made a plan for this, right? So if you can believe in that higher self and you understand that, every party involved in this is a big, beautiful soul, right?
Yes.
And they really are connected and they understand at a deep level, you start feeling a little different and more empowered and more empowering to the others involved. And when I say everybody, I have seen twin flame, and we have helped and guided twin flame connections where both twins were married. There were many children involved, right? It does get quite complex, but it doesn't mean that anyone really has to be the victim of that situation, because every party, the children, the partners, yourself, your twin, was involved in crafting this plan. And that really comes down to the next point that I want to make, which is each situation is completely unique. Okay, completely unique. When people say to me, well, I've had, somebody tell me that this doesn't happen in twin flame situations because it didn't happen for them, or was it? I really warn for this. So here's a big loud warning. Each and every single twin flame situation is unique. And the reason it's unique is because it's really designated and designed by your own plan. So when people say, well, this is a plan designed by God, this was laid out by your plan, your evolution together is laid out by your higher selves. It is laid out by your souls. Okay, so when you understand that each and every one of you is going to have a different outcome, a different relationship to the situation, to the connection. That is a very important thing to understand so that you can bring peace to yourself in this.
Yeah, so I love that Dov said that. So understanding that just because you've been activated by your twin flame doesn't mean that you decided in this lifetime to be in a relationship or in union in that way, right? So that's the first thing. I've seen many people be activated by their twin flame and then realize they want to stay in their marriage. I've seen people activated, by their twin flame and, leave the marriage and still not be with their twin. Sure. I have seen, there is so many different things. So it's like when I said, in the movie Twilight, her having to figure out what her mission was, what her purpose was, what your purpose in it, figuring out, not that that's an easy thing and not that it happens overnight, but really working through it to figure out what you came to do. And you can figure it out, even though sometimes it feels really like you feel crazy through that. Each situation is different and you get to ask the question of like, okay, what do I do next? Yeah. What is good for me? What feels right for me? And the answers will come.
Right. Finding that center line of what is your own integrity, right? And getting to know yourself. And this is why Nicole and I say that the twin flame journey is all about doing the work, right? But the work is really just this gorgeous journey into yourself of getting comfortable with aligning yourself and getting to know yourself. So when people say, what do I do? Well, what do I do is unique for you. It's unique for you because your situations and the desired outcome, and when I say desired outcome, I don't necessarily mean your ego's desired outcome, but your higher self's desired outcome. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. But what I can say is that it is going to be a growing process. It does happen and it can resolve itself in a beautiful way.
Yes.
We have really worked with so many people to guide them through having very conscious separations with their partners and being able to come together in union with their twin and to be able to stay in those unions. And so there's a lot there, but understanding the simple point of what Nicole just said, that maybe your plan wasn't even for you guys to be in a relationship. Your twin just came around in your life and just hit you with the paddles, woke you up. And so there's so many differences. Now, is it more chances than not than if you guys came together in the physical? Usually it starts to lean towards the desire to magnetize, right? It does lean towards that, which is actually what we're going to talk about in our next video here, which is if you end up in a situation where you actually start connecting physically, even though one or both of you are married, the pros and cons, or as to say, energetic repercussions of being in an affair or intimate relationship while married with your twin flame. It's the next thing we're going to talk about. So I want you guys to make sure that you subscribe, like this video if it resonates for you, so you can check out the next one. That if you're seeing this just as this video is just posted, that one is going to be revealed to you in a couple days. But if you're seeing this on the replay down the road, you should have those videos accessible to you now. And I really want to say to you guys that we have seen over the years, and we have had in our own experience, which is really how we started our twin flame mentorship and support, which is not the only work we do, but the reason that we've done that and the way we started with this is that having support and having tools in this process is a non-negotiable. It is a vital, vital process, right? And we want to invite you guys to use the link below to check out our membership community, because Nicole and I decided, listen, we can't mentor privately every single person that is in this journey, but there has to be support. There has to be next level support. So we created this community where you guys have access to us once a week in one manner or another. Either we're telling you what's going on with the energy right now as a whole, we're helping you on your individual journey, not just related to the twin flame connection, but also supporting that, doing healing and mentoring work in a group capacity, answering your questions in Q&A sessions, and you guys have over a year's worth of material already in there. Plus we're showing up live, every month, and we're giving you new content every week. It is really massive. So we want to really call for you guys to join, your higher self. That's what I just heard. Join your higher self in I want to take the next step to creating some clarity, to doing some work, to taking some mission, right? And if you want to take the steps even further, contact us. But if you're ready to join the community and to take the step of being supported, it is our number one thing of, if I'm in this situation, what do I do? Get the support that resonates and aligns, and this is something we created for you. So we love you guys. We hope that this is helpful, and that the next video coming up here will also be pretty hot stuff. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you guys soon.
Inspired.
Bye.
Bye.